Sinundan ko ang mga balita abroad for quite some time now. Nakita ko ang ilang mga areas na mukhang magiging challenging para sa Catholic Church. At kailangan mag-act quick ng simbahan dahil although may paglago in some places, may pagkalagas naman in others. Sa episode na ito, ating pag-usapan ang tatlong challenges na kakaharapin if not hinaharap ng Catholic Church ngayon. Yung unang dalawa ay external, while the last one, ito ang pinakamasakit sa lahat dahil ito ay internal. Ma-survive kaya ng simbahang katoliko ang future? Is our new Pope Leo XIV up for the challenge? Kamusta? I'm Jeroga, Catholic podcaster, author, and host of this channel. Ang simbahang katoliko has endured 2,000 years. Empires have come and go, cultures have changed right in front of its face, pero ito na ba ang era kung saan tuluyan ng mahihirapan ang simbahan at maraming lilikas mula dito? Ang mga sagot sa tanong na ito will depend on us and more importantly, our new Pope Leo XIV. Kaya simulan na natin pag-usapan ang challenge number 1, the rise of new technology. Never before has it been easier to sin with just a few taps. Mula sa hookup apps gaya ng Tinder to easy access to pornography. Dagdag mo pa dyan ang mobile games at streaming apps na naging false gods ng marami. The digital world is increasingly being addictive, isolating, and enslaving the human soul. Kahit yung mga simpleng apps ng phone, if it robs us from prayer time with the Lord, nagiging masama din ito. And of course, nandyan din yung rise of AI, artificial intelligence, where truth can easily be manipulated through deep fakes. At minsan pa nga itong AI na ito ang nagiging girlfriend ng mga walang jowa. St. Paul warned us in 2 Timothy, "The time will come when people will not endure sound teaching and will turn away from listening to the truth." Buti na lang, Pope Leo XIV recognized this. Kaya isa sa unang speech niya in his first days as Pope warned us about artificial intelligence. Para sa akin, AI and all these apps are tools. And just like any tool, pwede mo itong gamitin sa kabutihan o sa kasamaan. Parang ang kutsilyo. Pwede mong gamitin panluto o pagpatay. Ganon din ang AI at ang iba't ibang apps ng iyong phone. Ang isa sa pinakaunang Vatican document on this technology ay galing pa kay Pope St. John Paul II, entitled The Church and the Internet. Marami dito sa document na ito ay applicable pa rin hanggang ngayon. However, maybe it's time na idagdag ni Pope Leo ang gabay ng simbahan sa mga bagong technologies since then.
It's about time.
Hey, it is about time. I mean, I just couldn't get...
Number 2, the rise of secularism and woke ideology. Ang rise ng secularism and woke ideology actually stemmed from moral relativism.
I don't know what that is.
Ano ang moral relativism? Ito ang belief na dahil sa walang Diyos, ang tama at mali ay naaayon lang sa sariling pananaw natin kung ano ang tama at mali. So nakikita nyo ba kung anong posibleng magiging issue dito? I'll give you 1 second to think. Time's up. Ang magiging issue dito ay, of course, maaring magka-kontra-kontra tayo ng kung ano ang pananaw natin ng tama at mali. Makikita nyo ang pinaka-extreme example nito sa LGBTQ+ movement. Sumobrang dami na ng genders. Nandiyan na ang male, female, lesbian, gay, non-binary, trans woman, trans man, agender,
6.5 hours later.
genderqueer, omnigender, demigender, two-spirits, at marami pang iba. Bawat segundo ay may naimbentong bagong gender. Ayan, may bagong gender na. At ayan, may bagong gender na naman. And minsan sila mismo ang nagkakakontrahan. May ilang persons who identify as lesbian na kontra yung transgender. Bakit daw hindi sila na-in-love sa trans woman, gayong babae din naman daw siya. Pero alam naman natin that trans woman is a biological man. Ang totoo niyan, ang woke ideology is some kind of activism to help the oppressed. Nagiging issue lang naman ito dahil minsan nagiging over na sila. Sorry, hindi pala minsan. Madalas. Ika nga ni Edward Feser sa kanyang quote on the meaning of wokeness. Wokeness is a paranoid, delusional, hyper-egalitarian mindset that tends to see oppression and injustice where they do not exist or greatly exaggerate them where they do exist. Dahil sa walang Diyos, ang woke ideologues, they find meaning in the most unlikely places. Maaari silang maghanap ng meaning in environmentalism. Kaya yung iba nagiging anti-human or anti-natalist. Yung mga ayaw magka-baby, maaaring nakita sila ng meaning in feminism. And because of that, they bought the lie that women has always been oppressed by the quote-unquote patriarchy or the aforementioned LGBTQ+ movement. And for them to cure them of their oppression, kailangan payagan ang same-sex couple makapag-adopt ng sarili nilang anak or worse, makapaggawa ng baby from the baby factory. Or mas kilala sa tawag na surrogacy. Ang mga woke, pinaglalaban nila na ang trans woman payagang makapasok sa female spaces or women sports. Ang ilan sa mga issues na ito ay pinahapyawan na ni Pope Francis sa kanyang document na Dignitas Infinita. Pagpapatuloy kaya ito ni Pope Leo XIV o baka naman siya mismo ay woke? Kung yan ang tanong mo, huwag kang mag-alala dahil sabi mismo ng kanyang kuya sa interview na ito, roll VTR.
Can you confirm or deny that your little brother is woke?
I don't know that I'd even go that far to say he's woke. He's probably much more liberal than I am, but that's us.
What will his view be, do you think, Lewis, of issues, hot button issues like women priests and stuff like that?
I don't think you'll see that.
What will his view be of things like homosexuality, for example?
Well, there again, we know they exist. They're in the church's eye, I think homosexuality, marriage is not right. It's not correct, but at the same time, it exists, and it's a condition people have. They're in. The church can't just push them out and say, "We don't want you." I think that he'll go more along the lines with Francis. We'll welcome you into the church. You may not be able to, legally, church-wise, receive Holy Communion, but we're not going to totally push you out, not allow you to come to Mass, not allow you to be Catholic as much as possible. I don't think we'll see him endorse gay marriage.
Also, this news is promising. Mahalaga ang magiging response ng simbahan sa woke ideology and secularism because as we speak, tumataas ang level ng depression ng mga woke individuals. Ngayon, mananatiling isang malaking challenge sa simbahan ang pag-reach out sa mga taong ito para hindi sila maganap ng mga temporal fixes in anti-Christian ideologies that would lead them to sadness. Buti na lang ngayong papalapit na ang June, I'm sure maraming Catholic schools ang magse-celebrate ng Sacred Heart of Jesus. Right? Magse-celebrate ang mga Catholic schools ng Sacred Heart of Jesus. Right? Okay. Kung nag-enjoy kayo sa video na ito, nais ko pa kayong maka-interact in the next few videos. Kaya please, paki-subscribe naman. Malapit na natin ma-hit ang goal natin na 30K subscribers. Kaya let's bring home the bacon. While you're at it, paki-like naman ang video and hit that notification bell. Question, ano pa ang tingin nyong magiging challenge ng ating One Holy Apostolic Catholic Church? Write it down sa comments down below. Okay, number 3. Yung dalawang challenges na nabanggit ko kanina are external. Itong susunod ay internal. We are divided as a church. And minsan, ang tingin ng iba, ang division is between traditional Catholics and progressive Catholics. Hindi eh. The division seems 3 ways. May radical traditionalist, gaya ni na Taylor Marshall, may progressive Catholics, gaya ni na Father James Martin, at may in the middle, gaya ko. It's doing us no good. Ito lang masasabi ko. Throughout the whole history of the church, ang mga tinagurian lang na in communion with the Catholic Church are the ones who stuck with the Pope. The rest are either heretic or schismatic. Mula sa mga Arians, Eastern Orthodox, Lutherans, hanggang sa mga Old Catholics na humiwalay ng Vatican I. Ngayon, kung hindi ka in communion with the Pope, galit ka sa Vatican II, do you think history will look at you as the one with an unbroken line stemming from St. Peter? Ganon din sa mga progressive Catholics. But so far, nakakita ako ng optimism. Si Pope Leo mismo ang pinakaunang nagsabi sa balcony ng St. Peter's Basilica ng Peace be with you. And it seems like aware ang Pope natin na may much needed call for peace within the church. Ang message niya nung inauguration mass niya ay, let us walk towards God and love one another. Kaya ipagdasal natin ang simbahan, ipagdasal natin si Pope Leo XIV. Itong video na ito, I'm not dissing Pope Francis. I think the Lord selected Pope Francis to steer the church on a certain direction. Siguro si Pope Leo ang inatasan ng Diyos to provide clarity sa sinimulan ni Pope Francis. Kung ayaw niyo maniwala na hindi ako Pope Francis basher, ang totoo niyan ay dinefend ko ang late Pope I talked about 7 controversies ni Pope Francis and why they are not true. Check it out in the video right here.